I do not understand it, not even for a second. How is this monitor, how does this exist? So I've been testing out this KTC monitor that I got on Temu. I didn't believe that it was real. I thought that there's no way that this could be real. You see here it says, over here on the monitor, it says 180 hertz, and then over here it says 165 hertz on the description. I was like, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? It's 180 hertz. It's an IPS screen. It's got 1 millisecond response time, and it's real. It's got FreeSync Premium. I didn't expect to get this for twice the price, if you know what I mean. So we'll talk about that in just a second, and I've got a few other things to talk about, like a gaming mouse and some extra accessories that I have to just make my life a little bit better here. But the main thing I want to focus on is this monitor. So I got this over on Temu. You can get $100 in coupon bundles. All that is in the description to download the app if you want to. Just full disclosure, I don't use the app. I use only the website because I only like to give away the information that I want to give away, and I use the website to do that. But if you want to use the app, all that information is down in the description. You'll get a $100 coupon bundle for various things. Also, new members are going to get free shipping, but you know, a lot of things are shipped for free regardless. Anyway, also you get free returns. So all that is in the description. Now let's talk about this. And then the other things I'm going to talk about are this wireless mouse that also I can't understand how it's this price. And then a few USB devices that I got to make my life a lot better. And then these things. So, all right, let's talk about this monitor and then we'll move on to those. So the dimensions on this are 24.4 inches across, 18.7 inches tall, and 4.5 inches is the size of the front of the base. It's just like a flat base. The stand is just a stand. It doesn't move up and down or anything like that. It's not anything fancy. You do have a VESA mount on the back, which is cool. So it tilts 5 to 15, or is it 5 to negative 15? I don't know. It says negative 5 to negative 15. I don't think that's right, but yeah, it tilts a little bit, but that's all it does. Now, as far as the color goes, this is an IPS screen, meaning you're going to get nice colors. It's got 128% of the sRGB gamut. HDR10 is supported, and the brightness is 350. The screen is anti-glare, and I'm shooting most of this footage with the sun out. I shot some of the gaming footage when the sun was down, but didn't notice any major glare, so it's a decent anti-glare coating. Now, as far as the refresh rate and the response time, it's 180 hertz. So of course it's fast, and then the 1 millisecond response time, and we'll put that to the test in just a second when we talk about ghosting. We also have something called dynamic action sync. It's just like a low input lag mode that you can toggle on. I just kept it on because I don't want any input lag whatsoever, but most monitors don't have input lag either. It's not like a television or something like that. So yeah, just turn that on, and I didn't notice much difference, but cool, it's there. We also have G-Sync and FreeSync. It's like FreeSync Premium that also works as G-Sync, but that gives you adaptive refresh rate throughout the entire refresh rate range. Now, also built in the monitor, you got your black stabilizer, which essentially lessens the contrast. So in areas that have like super dark, shadowy corners and stuff, it brightens up just those dark areas, but it doesn't brighten up the whole scene. Just whenever it's really dark, it brightens up that spot on the screen so you can see what's going on over there. That can be handy when playing first-person shooters and there's something over there in the corner that's, you know, too dark and you can't see it. You'll be able to see it a little better. We also have a crosshair that you can put in the center of the screen, toggle it on and off, and also a frame rate tracker that you can put on the screen and toggle on and off. I want to say a special thanks to Green Man Gaming for sending over a copy of Final Fantasy so that I could show you some beautiful shots from this interactive movie. And that's what it is, right? It's an interactive movie. Joking aside, their stuff is usually less expensive than Steam on launch, so check the links in the description for deals on Final Fantasy with the DLC. This is 24.5 inches, so it's really close to 25 inches, which is kind of my limit for 1080p. When you get bigger than 25 inches, you really start to be able to see the pixel grid, and you can see the pixel grid in the videos that I'm shooting right now. That's because I'm using a 4K camera, and I'm sitting the 4K camera very close. It's closer than you're going to be sitting for sure, so just move back a little bit and you won't see the pixel grid very much at all. So I think this is kind of my cutoff for 1080p, but I like 1080p because it's easier to drive. You can play it with a less expensive GPU and get better frame rates. You know, if you go up to 1440p or 4K, I do not like 4K at smaller sizes, not at all. So I do think that this is a good decision to keep it at 1080p at this size, especially, you know, because it keeps the price low. As far as the ports go, we have 2 HDMI ports and 1 display port. Plus we also have a just an earphone plug there. So if you are using HDMI or display port, you'll be able to just use this as the source and plug up your earphones right there. All right, so we need to take a look at the ghosting because that's in my opinion, a very important factor when, you know, looking at something like this. Yeah, they can have all kinds of specs, but if the picture's all blurry and smudgy, then who cares? So in order to do this, what we're going to do is set the camera to 1/250th of a second. That way, every time I take a picture, it's going to capture one whole frame. And we'll see what the ghosting looks like since it's running at 180 hertz. So let's just open up some of these and take a look. When I zoom in really close, you're going to see all the underlying magic on the pixel grid right there. So yeah, just going through some of these. It's not bad, really. I mean, you know, you expect to see like the refresh rate. You expect to see the gray to gray. You expect to see things like blurring a little more, you know, when you're moving around. So right here, there we go. See, that's what ghosting is. And it's because this is a bright color and he's wearing dark. And a lighter colored background as I'm moving my mouse left and right. There's a little bit of ghosting right there, but this is minimal. You know, this is not bad. I've seen worse in 240 hertz monitors. I've seen worse in monitors that are twice the price. This is a relatively clean shot. You know, for one frame, that's, you know, not much. So we got a little bit right there, see? Those pixels are not catching up with the refresh rate of the monitor. They're still firing. But yeah, it's pretty good. Like, extremely good. You see some ghosting right there with the jibs, but not much. Right there a little bit. I'm going to say this is very good when it comes to ghosting. A little bit smudgy right there, but you know. Yeah, this Project 2025 Enjoyer only has a little bit of ghosting going on over there. So, okay, the ghosting is extremely good. You know, I looked at a little OLED screen. It was like a 15.6 inch travel screen, and it actually had worse ghosting than this IPS, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how is this under $100? I don't understand it. I literally don't understand it. If you need an extra monitor, there you go. If you need a gaming monitor, period, that's 180 hertz and you want 1080p, there you go. If you want to get 3 of these and run them in surround, or are they still doing like Crossfire? What do they call that? No, it's Crossfire. Whatever AMD has, I don't know. Do they still do that? This is stupid. And once you get the discounts, maybe you'll get it for even less than this. I don't know. All right, let's take a look at this gaming mouse right here. Now, I know we have our own stuff. Like, you know, this is our mouse right here. I love the shape and the size, and I actually like the fact that our mouse is a little bit heavier, but this mouse is wireless, and it has the 3395 sensor, which is the new, latest, greatest flawless sensor. You can slam tilt these things, you can spin them around, and they're not going to spin out. It's just a really accurate sensor, but it's also low power enough that we can have wireless. This mouse is a tiny bit smaller than the one I normally have. That's going to be good for traveling because it's not super small. It's not like a travel size mouse, but it's small enough that yeah, it's not too big of a deal to travel with. 6.1 centimeters across, 11.86 centimeters tall, and 3.97 centimeters thick at the thickest point. It'll run for 200 hours on a solid charge. It only weighs 49 grams. Kind of wild. So let's talk about the wireless function because, you know, it's also a wired mouse. If you get home and you want to like use it as wired mouse, well, it plugs up to USB-C. It's got a very soft cable. It's not microfiber. It's like something new that I haven't seen much of, and it's an interesting cable that's very soft and light. But it kind of feels baggy or floppy. I don't know. It's an interesting cable, but that also charges. So when you're not using it like that, you have a couple different options for Wi-Fi. We've got 2.4 gigahertz, and that is going to give you lower latency and faster performance. That's what I would use if you're like doing some serious gaming. I mean, use the cable if you're doing super serious gaming, but if you're like gaming on the go and plug it up to your laptop or whatever, you've got the USB dongle. It's, you know, stored inside the mouse. You can use that. But Bluetooth 5.0 gives us the option to use it with just about anything out there. You can use it with your Android devices, your tablets, your TVs, whatever. Bluetooth is just really handy. That's another reason why I got it, because some of the emulation machines and stuff that I play with, and I also do not understand how the price is what it is. Like, this does not make any sense to me, because I was looking at like, hey, maybe we could make a version of, maybe we can make a version of this. This is one of the Shark mouse right here. I've got a black one and an orange one. But yeah, I was like thinking maybe we could make a version of this, because I like the shape of this one an awful lot. But, you know, it would be nice to have that wireless functionality. And I like just looking at stuff online, it's hard for me to find a bulk price that's cheap enough to justify for selling it like this, because, you know, like I can get them for $16-17 a pop, but after the shipping, it's going to cost me this much just to put them on the shelf, and then I have to sell them and ship them out to everybody else. I don't understand it. So yeah, maybe it's just because they're working straight with the factory or something, but that's a crazy price. All right, let's move right along and take a look at some of these USB hubs. I've been frustrated with my USB situation behind the computer that I'm using right now to capture this. It's just got too many things going on. I've got all these webcams and everything, and I'm running out of USB. So I was like, I want to get something decent, and I had something that's not decent, It was failing. My mouse was like every now and then would just like the LED would flicker and it would like reconnect itself. And I was like, okay, this is getting old. So I've worked with Orico a couple times recently, and mostly on their like external docks and their M.2. But their stuff was solid. So I got this and it is solid. Now this is a USB 3 hub. I'm kind of glad I got it because I do have some USB 3 stuff plugged up. So you got 7 ports, USB 3. It feels very well made. The cable's well made. You can get it with USB-C or USB-A. I got the USB-A type. And then you can get different sizes as far as the cabling goes. I just got the small one because I'm going to be plugging it up right behind my little thing. Sometimes I always wish maybe I should have gotten a longer one and just wrapped it around something, but it is what it is. Now the other thing that's kind of cool about this is we do have USB-C on the top, and that's so you can plug up an extra 5-volt 3-amp charging cable, and that'll give you some power going here in case you need to plug up a hard drive or a couple hard drives or whatever that need power, or if you want to like plug up your phone or something and just have it charge, you'll have some power going to this. I don't have the power plugged up because I don't need it right now, but that's just cool to have. So this one's good. I feel like I'm getting better and learning like these new brands and all that and figuring out which ones are the ones to grab. Now I got this simply because I already have one of these. This is just a USB-C hub. I already have one of these, but I wanted to try this one because I've got one just like it, but mine does not have the VGA. So now we're trying one with VGA. It's USB-C on one side, 3 USB 3 on that side. On the other side, we've got HDMI. Then we've got USB-C. The USB-C is actually for power input. Like you can do up to 100 watt power input, and then that'll go from here to here. So you can plug in your laptop or whatever, plug up the power there, and it'll charge all the way through. And then down here on the end, we have gigabit Ethernet. That was important to me. I don't want 10100, I want gigabit, and then also VGA, which I need to test out. But yeah, I wanted to get one of these just for all those things, just so I can have extras here every now and then. Another little quality of life thing, I'm always testing PCs and stuff, and it just makes sense for me to have a little KVM switch, or a KM switch, I guess it's called, just because it's only keyboard and mouse, it's not video, but just a little KM switch for a few things. Now it's 4-port, so you can plug up whatever you want. You can even plug up portable hard drives as long as they, you eject them correctly, but I usually just plug up my mouse and keyboard and maybe a controller. And then you can switch between 2 different PCs. So this one is built tougher than I expected. Like it's actually extremely well made. So I'm gonna remember this brand now. The cables that this came with are some of the best USB cables that I have. They are tough. They're built really strong. So I'm impressed with the USB cables. It's kind of a weird thing, but yeah, it's handy. Also, this is USB 3.2 Gen 1, which is basically the same as USB 3, but yeah, I can hook up some stuff to that if I wanted to. And they've also included a little adapter for USB Type A to USB Type C. So if you're plugging it up to a tablet or something and you only have Type C, there you go. Last time I did a video with Temu, I got a gooseneck thing. And now I'm all excited about gooseneck things. So this is what I got last time. I got this gooseneck thing right here. I've used this thing like every day, this light. I clamp it on the desk right here, and I literally have used this for almost every video. And sometimes you'll see like in the videos the light moving around. That's me just waving this thing around. So I'm like, oh, these gooseneck things are really handy. So I got this, and it is a really firm gooseneck, and it's got a little ball joint on the top where you can put on a mount. So that means I could use different mounts or whatever. But right now it just comes with a clamp that you can use for your phone. And this thing is sturdy. Like once you bend it into place, it takes a little bit of force to get it into place. But once you get it into place, it is sturdy and it's not going anywhere. So that's going to be handy. I'm not sure if I'll use that one as much as the other stuff. I was thinking about maybe putting a webcam or something on that. But the thing is like after you move it, it's so sturdy that after you let go, it like, wiggles a bit for a minute. It doesn't just bend into place and stop. Well, this one kind of wiggles for a minute too. But yeah, I was hoping to get something that just kind of bent into place and then stopped, but I don't think that's possible with these long arms just from the nature of them. But this will be really handy for like, mounting my phone over here if I'm watching a video while I'm also doing some B-roll or something. It's kind of cool. I like these little gooseneck things, okay? Leave me alone. And the last thing I got came incorrectly bundled. I got this little clamp to mount my camera on something, but they sent me the wrong thing. They sent me this bottom piece, this middle piece, and then another one of these bottom pieces instead of the top tripod mount right there. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I need the ball joint with the tripod mount, so I'm going to have to test out the return policy and just see how that works. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, the monitor is the main thing I wanted to tell everybody about because It's kind of ridiculous. And I'm also going to be looking at another KTC monitor pretty soon. I wasn't aware of them. I guess they're kind of a thing in China. We'll see what else they've got, because I'm very curious if this is like what they've got for under $100. You know, they're sending me a monitor that's many, many hundreds of dollars. I'm curious to see how good that one's going to be. So we'll see. Anyway, don't forget, all the links are down in the description. You get the app if you want to. You can just use the website like I do if you want to. $100 in coupons and bundles, free shipping for new members. A lot of stuff's free shipping anyway, and also free returns. So all that information is in the description. Thanks, Temu. Let me know if you're going to grab that monitor. I'm really curious. See you in the comments.